you want to zip through video or no?
Sure.
Let's do this. Boom. Hey, Greg, another week.
Another week, another dollar.
Another week, another dollar. That's about all I got this week, too.
You and me, my friend, you and me.
Yeah. I think everyone's waiting for my new website launch. I talk about it too much. They're like, we're waiting for your new website. I'm like, oh man, I got to get this thing out there.
You put too much. You put too much pressure on yourself, Joe.
I know, I do. I definitely do. But yeah,
it's okay. Sometimes you have to be self-motivated. Push yourself a little.
Yep. Yeah, I was stuck in a rut actually last week, and man, I was thinking about this new feature, but I was, instead of like thinking about exactly just what I need to do, I started going off and thinking about all the like little edge case scenarios. Like, thank you, Paul Russum, because he's the one that gets all these, well, what if we did this with it? And what if we did that with it? And it's just like, he gets these things in my head and makes me go. And I thought for like 3 days on something about how to implement something, because I kept thinking about all these edge cases and how I was going to deal with them. And when it came down to it, when I finally sat down, within like 2 hours, I had like the base of almost everything done. Right. And it was just like, God, why did I think about this for so long, for like 3 days? I mean, to be honest, I did think about it a lot, and it did, I think, make the end solution better. But man, I overthought it for sure.
Yeah, it happens. Paul's really good at stuff like that, and he's recently started contributing some tips to my Weaver tip site.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was really excited. He's trying to. He likes to have that kind of collection of like sample projects that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
So now he has like a little bit of a platform, so it doesn't get lost. I guess what happens a lot is that, like the forums and stuff like that, things just get buried.
Yeah.
And it's hard to dig it out. People miss it, and you get those same questions over and over and over again. So now he has a venue where he can just post it, and then you can just link to it and say, here you go. Here's an example.
Yeah.
And people can kind of browse that and keep on top of that. So I'm really excited to have him kind of contributing whenever he has, comes up with an idea or inspiration for something. And
sweet.
So I'm really excited. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good like that. So what are we talking about this week, Joe?
So this week we are going to be talking about video, right? Now, me and Greg aren't video experts, but we do quite a bit of video. At least, I think both of us do. So yeah, we're going to give you our tips and tricks for video, on how to, make videos, how to embed them on your web page, right? So I think where we're going to start off with how do you create your video, right? This subject is huge. We could probably go on for hours. We're just going to give you a few minute introduction in terms of what we use and whatnot. So, Greg, what do you use to create your videos?
I use two different tools. If I'm doing a professional kind of video, I use ScreenFlow. No other app that I'll use. If I'm taking a quick screen record for somebody to help somebody out with support issues, I use what's the app? Sorry, DropShare. I use DropShare for that. Or you can use. There's other apps that do it too. Cloudly and
Droppler does it.
Droppler, thank you. But all my professional stuff that I try to make those GIFs that I make on Weaver Tips, any kind of video
GIF.
For like an. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. Should record. We're gonna record that into a segment and just play that.
Yeah.
Make that one of your little shortcut keys on your little player that you play. So that's what I use for all my professional stuff is ScreenFlow.
Now here's a question. I use ScreenFlow as well. Amazing app. I couldn't live without it. It is great. But my ultimate question is, do you pre-script out or do you do it on the fly?
Oh, you know the answer to that, Joe. You know the answer, and I know I know what you do is the exact opposite of what I do. So
I knew it.
I write a script. I got it. I put the script on my left display. I get my
Wow.
recording on my right display, and I go through it, and and then I use my script and then the audio, and then I try to put in the closed captions and everything.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah,
Going all out. As you probably thought,
it's why you produce more than I do.
I am completely 100% off the cuff. I sometimes if it's a really important video, like a marketing video, like like the main sales video for a particular product, or if it's a big one like foundation or total CMS, those videos, I'll maybe sketch out like an outline of the topics that I want to cover in the video, but that's about as far as I go. Outline 10 points that I want to make sure I cover in the video, and the rest of it is 100% on the fly. And I will sometimes completely mess up and start an entire segment over again, and I fix everything in post. So when I go to edit all the videos, I edit up, or delete various parts because I redid a part like 10 times. Totally happens. So yeah. Now a lot of my videos I've been starting like with a quick like little pre-roll. I try to do something funny or silly right in the video, and just to be fun. The problem is like some of my videos I was like one-upping it, and then at one point it's like I can't up that one anymore. Like Agent was pretty cool. That was a fun one. I don't know if you saw my Agent video where I wore like the trench coat and the hat and the sunglasses, and I came up with the Nerf gun and I shot the camera, and that was fun. Or the email video where I bought my son a drone for Christmas, and I wanted to make sure I could write it off as a business expense. So I used the drone to film the incoming video segment of the email stacks video, and it flew over my neighborhood and down the street, and then it saw me walking to my mailbox, and I pulled out a letter and all that jazz. So yeah, business expense for the drone. Thank you very much.
Hope your tax attorney's listening. Just in case.
Hey, it was a business. I used it for business. And I plan on using it more. So, yeah. So I do a lot of the video recording. I used to do a lot of the videos of me with my webcam. I've tried to up my game a little bit with either I have a Canon PowerShot G7X, just a little point and shoot. And that creates really nice, stunning video. And then last year, I spoiled myself and I got the 5D Mark IV when it was released. And I shot a few videos with that. Like my Black Friday video, I shot with that. And that just creates really stunning, really sharp, crisp video. And then I bought like a little LCD panel that I mount on the hot shoe plate on the top. And then I flip it over so that I could see myself. Here's actually a great tip. When you're giving a video and it's actually you in the video, sometimes it's hard to look at the camera, right? Or the webcam. And so what I do is I open up I created a little app for myself I call Camtastic, but you can open up like Photo Booth on your Mac and just open that up and put it at the top of the window next to the webcam so that you see yourself. And I find it so much easier. It feels like, yes, it's like I'm talking to myself, but at least you have something to focus on and someone to talk to. You're talking to yourself. And I find that very beneficial. So there's a cool little tip. If you are on video, either a webcam or a camera, get something where you can see yourself so that you can actually like have something to focus on. So that's a cool little tip.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and then I take all those video files from my drone or cameras or whatnot, and they save all to MP4 files, and I drag and drop those into ScreenFlow, and then I mix and match those with the actual screen recordings that I do with ScreenFlow. So okay, I'm going a little bit more in depth than I originally planned. But next up is when you're recording your screen, okay, record in full resolution. So record your entire screen. Okay. Then when you're in ScreenFlow, go ahead and it's like file video, dimensions or whatnot, or, file setup, and then change the dimensions of the video to be 1920 by 1080. Okay. Or HD. Right. And then what that is your screen size, the resolution of your video recordings are bigger than that. Mine is like, over 4K. right? But then what's cool about that is instead of shrinking the videos down to be, or keeping the videos at that dimension and then exporting it to 1080p, if you change the video size in ScreenFlow and then all your videos are scaled up, so everything is going to be super sharp and crisp when you want to zoom into various elements on the page, right? So that's a cool little tip. It took me years to figure that one out, and it seems so logical now, but yeah, ever since I started doing that, a lot of my screen recordings were a lot more sharp and crisp because I wasn't scaling the video up and down. So yeah.
Cool. So I have a little tip.
Yep.
Video length, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. My God, you think I could ever speak less than 3 minutes? Man.
No, I mean your first sentence took 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what do you target?
Oh man, so I never hit my targets. Let me just say that. I want to create short videos, and I always end up going more. Even like when I do my like video tutorials on like how to use this stack, I think, okay, I want to do this in 10 minutes, and then 35 minutes later, the video is done. It's well, the video is that long. I'd say my average length is probably closer to 30 minutes. So but that's for like a tutorial based video,
Yeah, I'm saying like sales video. Let's say your product page sales pitch video.
Yes, I try
to shoot for that.
I would love that to be under 2 minutes actually. But sometimes I find that hard to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good range.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're talking about next about videos.
Compression? So next up is compression. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I'll be honest, most of the time when I am using ScreenFlow, I tweak some of the export settings. Or actually, let's open it up really quick. I tweak some of the export settings, but most of the time I just take whatever their stock is and I upload 1080p straight up to YouTube. And I use ScreenFlow. They connect straight to YouTube. They also connect to a bunch of other video providers, right? But I do straight up to YouTube, and I use ScreenFlow's compression. But there are a lot of other great video compression apps out there that you should probably pay attention to if you want to host your own videos and do stuff like that. How about you, Greg?
I do the same as you, except I typically use Vimeo.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to do it myself, I'd use Handbrake.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I kind of rely on these hosting providers, their technology and their logarithms, their compression engines to do that for me.
Yeah.
So I personally want to retain the full uncompressed source as much as possible, and like leave that kind of mojo magic to them.
Yep.
And so that I could always publish it somewhere else. I could always republish it and have it re-encoded. Stuff like that,
Yep.
I never do that on my own.
Yeah. So when I export it from ScreenFlow, I also always export it locally, and I save that local copy to my NAS so that, obviously if anything were to happen, because I don't save the ScreenFlow files themselves because those are ginormous, right? So I do save the exported MP4 file that got uploaded, the same exact file that gets uploaded to YouTube. I save that file and throw that on a NAS that has all my videos on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned self-hosting.
Yes. So
how do you feel about warehousing your videos?
I think if you're doing like tutorial length videos, it just doesn't make any sense to warehouse those yourself. Where warehousing your own videos makes sense is if you're doing like some background video or things like that's when I would warehouse a video myself, right? Is if, I'm using something like My Impact or Eclipse Stack where those support background videos and you can have content on top of it and stuff like that, right? Those type of videos, which are more, accent and background of your site and add to the style, I think those videos make sense to host yourself. Okay. And that's where you should look at more compression tools such as Handbrake, like Greg mentioned. We've mentioned some other tools in the past, Video Compress Pro. Apple has an app called Compressor as well, which is really great. And if you're uber geeky and adventurous, you can use this command line tool called FFmpeg, which most of these apps are just wrappers around anyway.
Yeah, even I totally agree with you. My only caveat is that it's really like a fine line. Like those background videos, it quickly becomes much more than that, and you almost could benefit from hosting it on a CDN like Cloudflare or something like that to get Cloudflare to cache them. So it's a very it quickly becomes like you might as well just publish it on a CDN or something like that.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of times those people, when they do those background videos, they go way overboard and they're huge, right? I mean, a lot of the times I'll see ones that are like 50 megabytes, and she's like, "Yo, dude, this needs to be like 1 megabyte," you know?
Yeah,
and you don't necessarily, you might not need 1080p or 4K video, which some people I've seen try to use, right? You don't need that. And there's some tricks, like if you put an overlay on top of the video, like some sort of like a transparent overlay, you can get away with like murdering that video file. Like you can really crank down that resolution. And just by adding the overlay, no one will ever notice. They will notice your page load being slow, much more so than they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, check out that super sharp, crisp background video." No, they're not.
Do you know who else notices your page load being slow?
Google.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh man, I should have done the drum roll for that. Damn it. I messed up again.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, you're killing me.
Damn.
Yep, exactly. Google notices. That's a huge ding. Slow page speed, because then your bounce rate goes up, your SEO dives down. Yeah. Thanks for that, Joe. Reminding me of that. So.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to warehouse your image, check out our, if you've listened to all the image, podcasts we did a section on warehousing. It's identically the same as images. You create a folder on your server, you upload the video there, you get the URL, you're done, right? There's tons of apps out there that do it, Transmit, Dropshare, a whole bunch of other ones. Check those out. Check out that episode on images. We don't need to rehash all of that information there. Do you agree? It's pretty much exactly the same as warehousing an image to warehouse a video.
I agree. This would be a great time to say WeaverRadio.com/archive.
Haha! Boom. Man,
there you go.
We're becoming pros, man. Look at that. We're getting up for like, yeah.
It's like volleyball. It's like volleyball. You just lay it up, and the other one spikes it, right?
Okay.
So I don't want to warehouse it. What do I do next?
We use a video service, right?
Yes.
I'm all in with YouTube. How about you, Greg?
I love Vimeo. I love the quality of their videos. But if you were to rename YouTube to something else and call it something different, I would call it Google Junior. And for SEO, it's like a second Google. So, there's just so many users on it. So, I love Vimeo. I don't know if what I'll probably end up doing in the near future is just publishing in both places, and letting that search engine ranking, kind of help there. So basically what I'd say is I'm probably going to start publishing in both places, because the SEO boost from a service like YouTube, because it's owned so closely by Google, is just too hard to ignore. But I do love Vimeo, the quality, the player, the analytics, the service in general. I think it's a great service.
Yep.
If you're doing professional stuff, they seem to have better professional grade tools and those kind of things. So yeah.
So back in the day, I used Vimeo as well. And it was because I used it back in the day because their video player was like head and shoulders above YouTube's, right? In terms of just the look and feel of the video player, right? And I was also kind of trying to be the hipster, trendy guy that didn't go with YouTube, and I'm using Vimeo, right? And so I did do that. And then I decided, that was kind of stupid, because, like you said, YouTube, it is the number 2 search engine in the world. I've heard that many times. I don't know how true that is, but I don't think it's untrue. So I did start uploading everything twice. I uploaded a video to YouTube and then a video to Vimeo. And then I did that for a while. And then I was like, this is nuts and too much work and trying to maintain all that. So then I just gave up on Vimeo. And now all of my new videos are purely on YouTube. And I do like their player. Their player is vastly improved over the years. There are some hidden features that you could do, like stopping those related videos at the very end, which is what a lot of people don't like. For my new site design, I almost went back to Vimeo, and then I just rethought about it again and didn't want to do that to myself of trying to upload videos twice to 2 different places. I know with ScreenFlow, it's not that much difficult. You can just, publish a video twice. It's not hard, but, I also, if I am going to use YouTube, and have a YouTube channel, then I want as many people as they're driving traffic to that YouTube channel as well. So, that way, YouTube appreciates me getting more traffic, hopefully boosting my results or related videos or whatever they do, right? Whatever the YouTube magic they do is. So that's why I definitely have decided to give up on Vimeo. I still have a lot of video on there on Vimeo, and I'm not going to remove them right now. But all my latest stuff is all on youtube.com/WeaverSpace. And I definitely plan on, focusing on that YouTube channel a lot more in the coming year to really promote it, make it nicer. I got some a thing called YouTube or TubeBuddy, which is kind of like a YouTube management extension on steroids for for your YouTube channels and whatnot. Another service I also tried for a while is called Wistia. And I have a few videos on if you go to foundationstacks.com, that video on the homepage is Wistia, and a few others, like I think my call to action stack and a few other like sales promo videos were on Wistia. And I looked at Wistia, and it's pricey. It's definitely pricey. And they had a special going on at one point where for $25 a month, I got their business plan, which now, if you were to do that, is like, I don't know, I think it's like $150 a month or something nuts. And, because of that savings, I never got off of it. And I still have a few videos on there, but definitely this year I'm going to kill that account off, recoup my $25 a month that I'm paying them, and have everything hosted off YouTube.
Yeah, that's cool. Funny story. I used to work at a advertising company, and they were working out of the same building as us. So I met the founder of Wistia and stuff like that. Wistia is really, really cool. They have some really advanced analytics tools and stuff like that.
Yes. I didn't feel like I was really utilizing it to the fullest. The stuff they do is phenomenal. I do have to say I love everything they do, and they also do a lot of like video tutorials as well, like to teach you to be a better videographer and stuff like that. So the content and the product that they have is really stellar. I just feel it's not what I need right now. So yeah.
Yeah, they're just like the heat maps and giving you the analytics of like when people stop watching your video and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have some advanced marketing stuff in there too, so you can have like pop-ups that integrate with your own marketing system and stuff like that. So there's definitely some benefits of it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I hear you. That's just probably out of the price point of many of you, I, and a lot of our listeners too.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess a couple more I have on the list. One is Cloudinary. We talked about Cloudinary on the Images podcast, and they also do video. I've never played with them at all for video, but I know that they do video. So do you use Cloudinary, right? Did you say that you use Cloudinary?
No, never for video.
Oh, okay. I've never used it for video either.
Played with them for static images and stuff like that to try out their service, but never something for video, and never something I put into like a production environment, but I certainly would trust them to do that.
Yeah. I just quickly searched to see if they have video management. I wonder if they have any sort of transformations. Oh, they do. You can do a square cropped video based on your 16:9 video. That's pretty cool. Interesting. So Yeah, I'm pretty sure their free plan. I think that would be pretty nuts. I'm pretty sure you'd have to pay for the video stuff. You can't do it for free like you could with images with them. At least I would assume that. I don't know. Look into it, but yeah. Next up, last one on my list is Cloudflare. Yeah, it's kind of new. It's in beta right now. Their video service. I haven't used it at all. Do you know much about it, Greg?
All I know is that it's in beta and it sounds interesting. My only concern is the cost of that service, because it's not going to be free.
Yep. You
will have to pay for it, and it will be paid per use. And so it's not included in the plans from what I gather. So even if you paid $20 a month for your site or whatever, you have to pay on top of that for the video hosting.
Yes. Yeah. You have to pay a usage fee for, it depends on how much you use that feature. They've been doing that for a few other things like Argo and a bunch of other stuff. Some other features that you pay based on usage.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know what the pricing will be. I don't think they've announced it at all. It's just in beta. So, but yeah. And that's, I would assume it's kind of like just warehousing. So you'd have a video up there, and instead of it being served up from your server, it'll be served up from there. I'd probably recommend, if you're going to do, big, long videos, still don't use something like Cloudflare. Probably better with something like Vimeo or YouTube. But I don't know the pricing, again, like we said.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And if anything changes, of course, we will let everybody know.
Yeah. Cool. Well, one thing I should mention, one thing that I've gotten a couple of requests from users is creating a video version of this podcast. So I have been looking into it. I actually bought, so I didn't even talk to Greg about this. So I bought a plugin for Final Cut Pro that does like the audio wave things, like when an audio goes, like the wave things, like the stereo, right? So I got this plugin for Final Cut, and you load in your audio file, and it'll dynamically create this wave thing. So I was thinking of just doing our artwork, and then at the bottom would just be a wave file, a wave video of the audio that's actually playing right then. And then that could be the video, and upload that to YouTube or something like that. And the reason people have been wanting this is we have a couple hearing impaired users. And obviously, if you are hearing impaired, you cannot listen to a podcast. And YouTube will auto transcribe video for free. So, that was a way that we could potentially get the podcast out to people and get it auto transcribed.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting.
So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool plugin. I don't know Final Cut at all, so I'm trying to learn Final Cut as well. And all my son's a big good drummer, so I got that also. I thought it'd be cool, like when I record him playing the drums, it would I could have the song going while he's drumming. I don't know, whatever. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, in my copious amounts of free time, yeah. Anyway, well, by the time this is released, cool World Cup is going to be out there. And I'm excited about that. Are you a World Cup fan, Greg?
I am very excited about it. I wish I can watch it more. I didn't actually really get into soccer until grad school, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started playing pickup soccer. My buddy was an avid soccer fan, kind of getting into it more and more over the years, and appreciate the intensity and dedication of the fans and the sport, yep. And playing pickup soccer, you realize how hard it is and how much fun it is, and how you can move with your feet, and it's kind of like 90 minutes of intensive running.
Yeah,
you have to be in insane shape for that.
Yeah, but by the time this podcast ends, looks like I was just looking at the dates real good. It looks like they'll be starting the knockout rounds of the World Cup. So yeah, I'm excited. Starts.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you want some status, everyone, check out worldcupbrackets.info. It's a cool little website I made, just a fun side project. Yeah,
nice.
It has all the brackets and the groups and all that jazz. And I'm going to be live updating that as the games go on every day. I'll update the website with all the stats and whatnot. So yeah.
You update it by hand?
Yeah. So it's a static generated site. So I have like a JSON file. And so I'll put in all the scores inside the JSON file, and then it runs off Jekyll. And then so I'll process the Jekyll file, and it'll rebuild the static site, and I'll just publish it back up every day. So it's semi-manual.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. No US.
No US.
in there.
Who's your pick? Do you have a pick for the World Cup?
No, I'm not good at that. I don't forget to follow it too closely to make a pick.
Right. Fair enough. I'm calling it. It's Brazil. Calling it. And it's not just because my wife is from Brazil.
I was going to say, because of family ties,
No.
you know something? You got
it actually is. They do have a really badass team this year. So, yeah, I'm calling it.
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll touch base and we'll see how we make out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, cool, Greg. Where can everybody find your beautiful face?
My beautiful face? Wow, Joe. Didn't know you felt that way. Didn't know you felt that way. Gonna have to rename this podcast. You can find me at Barshard on Twitter, Chili Dog Hosting, chilidogsoftware.com.
Sweet. And I am at Joe Workman everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Check us out on weavers.space. And if you have any comments, we have a community for Weaver Radio on weavers.space. And also you can email us at feedback@weaverradio.com. And if you are enjoying the show, please leave us a review on iTunes. We love it. Actually, Greg, next show, we are going to start calling off our reviews, right? Remind me, next show,
Sure.
we have a couple 5-star reviews on there, and I want to thank those people. So if you want, please go ahead and put in some 5-star reviews and let us know what you're enjoying, and we'll give you a shout out directly here on the podcast. So please go ahead into iTunes and to do that. Great. And if you want to listen to the past shows, you can listen to us on all your favorite podcast players, and check out weaverradio.com/archive. Sweet. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, sir. Till next time.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody. Boom.
Awesome.